course, it's a dynamic exercise. Anything may become suddenly invalid. Remember that President Roosevelt appointed a committee to tell him, Ambassador, President Roosevelt appointed a committee to tell him what will be the technologies which will be important for the next 20 years. And very interesting to see the things they missed. They missed radar, they missed genetic engineering, they missed lasers, and they missed nuclear energy. Because the year after the report was submitted, Hahn and Meitner discovered nuclear fission. So this technology foresight analysis has to be done on a dynamic thing, on a dynamic basis, and should be quickly redone, maybe every 5 years, maybe even faster. And I introduced a phrase some time back which I call coherent synergy. Coherent synergy. In fact, if you go on the net and put coherent synergy with an inverted comma, you will get about 300 hits. Half of them are mine, so I can claim a kind of a copyright on this space. It has not been used precisely. It has been used things like coherent synergy between liberal humanism and Christianity. Well, that's okay. It's a very loose term. Or in biological systems. What I say is, if you take the Indian S&T system, it has got a large number of components. Human resource development. You've got R&D with privatization. You've got academia-industry interaction. International cooperation, which you mentioned. Each one of them requires synergy among the concerned parties. And every synergetic effort gives you a momentum for development. And you know momentum is a vector. If you have to develop fast, all the vectors must point in the same direction. That is coherence. Now, a physicist friend once asked me, synergy also has coherence, but in physicist language, that is a local coherence. Now talking of global coherence. Synergy in every effort and coherence among all the efforts. So all of you who are studying here must keep this also in mind. Where does the knowledge you gain, the knowledge you develop, how does it fit into India's own pattern of development? Now, here you have the old paradigm between a developed country and a country like India, which is developing. And in a country like Japan or the United States, there is a thermodynamic equilibrium between the knowledge which is there in the academic system and the knowledge which has been transferred to industry. Indian scientists like me, basic research guys, want to be in equilibrium with the academic system abroad. But on the other hand, till recently in India, industry was a couple of notches lower. So the knowledge from the academic system was not flowing into the Indian industry. But things are changing very rapidly now. Already in some areas like nuclear and space, India is no longer considered a developing country. And as we go on, more and more of this is going to happen. And more areas, more industry, automotive sector. Automotive industry is already beginning to happen. So in this India of the coming years, many of you will go back. Some of you will go back. Many of you will go back. Some of you will go back. Dr. Govt. Many of you will go back and develop India. You must keep all this in mind, because India is changing very rapidly. The GDP growth rate in India in the last few years has been very, very rapid. And the feeling is that it may continue. We'll have to see. If it continues in spite of the economic meltdown which is taking place around the world, that will give a huge signal around the world. Already we talk about research and innovation. Research, gathering new knowledge. Innovation, adding economic value to knowledge, or strategic value to knowledge, or societal benefit to knowledge. At early stages of India's economy, our GDP growth rate was determined more by our innovation capacity, like Japan's. In the automotive sector in Japan, it was not even product innovation, it was process innovation, manufacturing process, that gave them a tremendous lead in making money. But, one of you said, as you go up and up, early stages, it depends more on your innovation capacity and less on your scientific strength. But if you want to sustain the growth rate over a long period, you must have a very strong scientific base. Fortunately, India has invested hugely in the scientific base, the benefits of which are now beginning to appear. And I hope we'll be able to continue that, and we'll also have the benefit of young guys like you, who will also be contributing to development. As I said, as an ambassador has always said, and we're working very hard for it, and India values its scientific cooperation with Japan, the prospects, all sectors, and I'm sure it will increase, and we will see it grow. I wish all of you well, wish all of you a very productive career here, and also a continued career in India.
Thank you, Dr. Chidambaram. You have been a role model for many of us, and in the next coming years, ISAJ will try to penetrate as deeper as